The 9th verse, he says, take my yoke. 30th verse, he says, for my yoke is easy, and my burden is light. I simply would like to use for a subject this morning, his yoke. Jesus says, take my yoke. I want you to be here thinking I'm talking about myself, so I changed the wording to say his yoke.
Yeah.
For his yoke is easy, and his burden is light. So let us talk about his yoke. Here in this 11th chapter of the Gospel of Matthew, after unveiling the cities of Jerusalem, we hear Jesus extending to us an invitation.
Yeah.
Come unto me, he says, all ye that labor and are heavy laden.
Yeah.
And I simply want to say this morning that the invitation that he extends is an all-inclusive invitation.
Yeah.
All who labor and are heavy laden. All those who are in any way weary because of life's circumstances.
Yeah.
So if you're broke, busted, and disgusted,
Yeah.
I've come to tell you this morning that you are included.
All right. Thank you, Lord.
Come on to me. Jesus is extending this invitation to all who are in any way weary, all who labor and are heavy laden.
Yeah.
If you are weary of the world's way, this is your invitation this morning. Some of y'all looking at me like you don't know what weariness is all about.
Yeah.
But if you've been going along to get along, then Jesus is saying, come to me. If you tired of this thing of scratching somebody else's back,
Yeah.
just to get them to scratch your back. Jesus this morning extends to you this invitation.
Yeah.
Somebody this morning is weary, tired of playing the game, wherein soon as you learn the rules,
Yeah.
the rules change.
Yeah.
Some of us have been trying to get insurance of one kind or another, and soon as we find out what to do, the rules change. Been trying to land a loan for a mortgage, and soon as you find out what you need to do, the rules change.
Yeah.
Time some of us to get disability because of our handicap, because of our misfortune in our physical life. And as soon as we find out what we need to do,
Yeah.
so Jesus says this morning to us, come unto me. You've been trying to live this life in and through your own strength.
Yeah.
Jesus says this morning, come to me. Trying to love folk who are not lovable. You don't have the strength. And I don't have the strength to do that on our own. And so Jesus this morning is saying to us, come unto me. If you labor and you are headed late, trying to make ends meet, trying to keep daughters in school, trying to keep sons out of the streets and out of the prison, trying to keep your head above water. Jesus says to you this morning, told me to tell you, come unto me. Take my yoke. But understand this morning that coming is just the initial thing. Coming is a necessary first step. Where his yoke is concerned, it is a move in the right direction. It is a start on that which for all of us will be a long and hard and a tedious journey. But you don't have to go it alone, because Jesus said, come to me. So we make this first step. I need you to understand that you can't come to Jesus and stay where you are. Somebody didn't hear me this morning. I said, you can't come to the Lord and stay where you are. Stay in your poverty. Stay in your brokenness. Stay in your sin and your disgrace. Can't stay where we are and come to the Lord. Coming to Jesus moves us. Am I right about it this morning? It moves us out. It moves us ahead, and it moves us beyond. It moves us out of the rut that we're in. It moves us ahead in this rat race of life. It moves us beyond the mess that we make for ourselves. And so there is a need this morning to come to Jesus. Coming to Jesus, for his yoke is easy. If you come to him, taking his yoke adds to one's life.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Y'all don't hear me this morning.
Yes, it does.
It adds to our lives. Where there are storms. Storms plus Jesus is a calm out on the sea. Where there is sickness plus Jesus is a healing in somebody. Where there is death plus Jesus is a resurrection for somebody's life. And so then it adds to one's life. So it's a necessary first step to come to Jesus. But the Lord does not end his invitation there. He says, come to me. Take my yoke. Come, take my yoke. Come to me and take my yoke. Yoke this morning is a wooden bar that is used to harness two animals together. The bar allows the two to work as one. To do teamwork. But I need you this morning to look beyond the bar of the house. I need you to look beyond the bar that harnesses two mules together. I need you to see Jesus this morning standing a bar around his chest, standing all by himself. He on one side of the bar, and the other side being empty. And Jesus is saying to you this morning, come unto me. Bring my yoke. With your yoke this morning, I want you to know that there is no going the way that I want to go. There's no way, there's no going the way that you want to go. Our way must be given up there if we are to take his yoke. If I'm going to be yoked up with Jesus, I got to go where he is going. I got to do what he is doing. I got to live like he is living. I got to walk like he is walking. I got to talk like he is talking. We must pull together if we take his yoke. We must work in harmony when we take his yoke. We must shoulder the same load if we take the Lord's yoke. There's no 15 different directions for the church. There's but one direction. Jesus said, take my yoke. When we're yoked with him, when it's his yoke that we're in, we must come under subjection. That's what the yoke is about. And no longer to do what it wants to do when it's in the yoke. The church is no longer able to act the way it wants to act. When we're yoked up with Jesus, when we are in the harness with Jesus, we got to live like Jesus wants us to live. So we must come into subjection. We must surrender to his will. We must be in subjection to his power. We must submit to his way, not my way, but his way. When we take his yoke. The thing that I like most about it this morning is that his yoke. The yoke that Jesus has. It does not place one out front and another behind. Some of us are not going to work with us unless I can be out front and I got somebody else behind. But I hear Jesus saying, I want you to come alongside me. Is that all right this morning? If you come alongside me, if you take my yoke, then we can walk side by side. If you come alongside me, if you take my yoke, we can walk hand in hand. Is that all right, church? I don't know about you this morning, but I don't mind taking the Lord's yoke. When I walk hand in hand with Jesus. Does not matter how big my problems are. I got a problem solved right by my side. When I'm yoked up with Jesus, when I take his yoke, it does not matter how weak I am. I need to tell somebody this morning that in my weakness, my God is strong. I hear his word declaring that my strength is made perfect whenever Wilson is weak. God's strength is perfect whenever First United gets weak. Whenever we get weak, we got a strong adversary right by our side. And I hear saying this morning, take my yoke, take my yoke upon you. And not only that, church, I want you to learn of me. You can't learn what you need to learn until you take his yoke. Am I right about it this morning? You can't know that he is the bread that come down from heaven until you take his yoke. You can't know that he is the water of life until you take his yoke. You can't know that he is the shepherd, the good shepherd, and the door of the sheep until he take his yoke. I don't mind this morning being yoked up with him. When I'm yoked up with him, when I'm yoked with the good shepherd, when I'm yoked with the door of the sheep, trouble can't get in unless it come by him. Trouble can't mess with me unless it come by him. Misfortune can't get to me unless it come by him. When I'm yoked up with him, I learn who he is. He is the resurrection and he is the life. He is the way, truth, and the life. No man can come to the Father except they come by him. So if you take his yoke, not only can you learn of me, but you can learn from me. Am I right about it, church? If you take his yoke, you can learn how to love unconditional. Am I right about it? You can learn how to love those who hate you. You can learn how to love those who misuse you, those who treat you wrong, those who dig ditches for you. You can learn how to love them if you take his yoke. If you take his yoke, you can learn from him. Am I right about it this morning? You can learn how to have a selfless kind of love that makes him give his hands to the nails, the love that makes him give feet to the rivet, side to the spear, love that makes him lead throne and glory and take on humanity, love that makes him sacrifice himself and give himself for my sake and your sake. He was bruised, right to say, for my chastisement and wounded for my iniquity. The chastisement of my peace, it was upon him. He has sacrificed for me because I have his yoke. In his yoke this morning, the thing that is most impressive as I get ready to go to my seat, I hear him say, my yoke is easy and my burden is light. My yoke is easy and my burden is light. Remember, church, way back when we were chopping cotton and I was a water boy. Somebody don't hear me in the morning. I had to carry water across yonder field as quick as I got back to where the border was located. Somebody was holding up their hand and telling me to come back. And so I desired church to get myself 2 buckets. I put me a shoulder. I got me a whole one. Put it on my shoulder. Am I right about it? Put a bucket of water on one end and a bucket of water on the other end. And I went out into the field. And when I got back, I had a little time to rest before I had to go back again. I know what to tell you something, church. The hole around my shoulder, it got a little hard to bear. I want to tell you what I did. I took me a towel and I wrapped it around that hole and I put it on my shoulder. Bucket on one end, I'm bucket on the other end, and my yoke was easy. I want to tell somebody this morning that if I know how to make a yoke easy, I know my Jesus, he knows how to make a yoke easy. And I hear him saying, my yoke is easy and my burden is light. My yoke is easy. When you give out, you have my strength. My yoke is easy. You don't have to worry and go this distance all by yourself. I'm in the harness with you. My yoke is easy and my burden is light. Take my yoke. Here's your yoke. The songwriter said, his yoke is easy and his burden is light. His yoke. God's yoke, the Lord's yoke, the yoke that Jesus has called you to come and wrap up with him. His yoke. He's all right. Anybody this morning wanna be helped, wanna be yoked up with Jesus? Is there anybody here this morning who not mind walking aside alongside the Lord? Is there anybody here who don't mind bearing your burden alongside Jesus? Is there anybody here who wants Jesus to be on your side? If you're here this morning, I hear him saying, come to me. I hear him saying, take my yoke. I hear him saying, learn of me, for my yoke is easy. Ain't he all right? Ain't he all right? Ain't the Lord all right? Has he done anything for you? I don't mind. Just don't know what tomorrow's gonna bring, but I got his yoke. I don't know where I'm going from here, but I got his yoke. I don't know what problem's gonna come, but I got his yoke. I don't know what trouble might come my way, but I got his yoke. I don't know what difficulties I might face, but I got his yoke. And one thing I got, one thing I'm sure of, his yoke is easy. His yoke is easy. His yoke is easy. And his burden is light. He's all right. I know the man's all right. The Lord's all right. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Somebody said, I come this far. I come this far by faith. I come this far, leaning on his everlasting arm. I come this far with his yoke. I come this far with his yoke. I come this far. Don't know how much further up the road. Don't know how much further I'm going, but I got his yoke. I got his yoke. I'm yoked up with Jesus. If you want me to walk the way you're going, I gotta tell you no, cause I got his yoke. I'm yoked up with him. I gotta go where he's going. I gotta go the way he wants me to go. I gotta do the things he wants me to do. I'm in his yoke. I don't mind in his yoke. And I got joy. I'm in his yoke. I got a peace that surpasses understanding. In his yoke. leave me alone. Make the enemy my footstool. In his yoke, devil can't do me no harm. In his yoke. I'm able to say because I'm in his yoke. We've been made good and good for the night. But I know joy is coming. I don't know how long the night's going to be, but I know joy is coming. As long as I'm in his yoke, I know that joy is coming. I want to tell you the Lord's all right. If you don't know him, you need to get acquainted. If you don't have his yoke, if you don't have this invitation, if you have not received it, have not accepted it, your time is right now. Day that you hear my voice, the one who invites us to come, he says to us this morning, harden not your heart. Come today, for tomorrow is not promised.
Yes, Lord.